Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Unfiltered Feed podcast. This is episode 17, November Game Show edition. So last week we were a bit late in releasing the game show episode, so we decided to make evasive corrections regarding that, and here we are in the very first week of November with the November game show. So you might think that this is some sort of a prank or something, but it is currently -2 degrees over here. So hence the attire. I would like to welcome my co-host Yash. We just talked yesterday, but how was your day?
Yeah, it's been a very nice day and a nice week as well. Excited for this game show. We have some really nice. The game itself is very nice, and we have some nice questions waiting for you. I'm also. I would like to take this opportunity to apologize for the background noise. Um in spite of repeatedly telling my roommates, they still decide to make noise coincidentally at the same time as our recording. So you basically have some ambient background noise today. So I hope you enjoy that.
Yeah, I hope they tune into the episode later and then regret their decision. So I think it's time we explain the game for the month. So I think it was your idea, so you can explain it.
Yeah, this game is very simple. It's not as complicated as last time. It's basically a blind ranking game. So I'm sure all of you must have seen at least one reel or YouTube short where there's a person who's got 10 different tiles in front of him, and there's one particular category, and they start placing things in different positions without knowing what comes next. So, for example, there could be a category of favorite food, and let's say pasta comes up, and you place it at number two, and you place something else at number one, and then later you're presented with an option that you like the most. But since you didn't know that that option would come later, you didn't reserve the top spots for it, so you end up messing up the ranking. So this is called blind ranking, and then at the end we will look at the ranking and then see if we actually agree with it, and then make a few changes. So that's the basic game. We have tweaked the format a bit. So instead of 10, we are going with 5 so that you can get through more rounds and have more fun.
Yeah, so I think we could not find any software or a website to show that, or did
Yeah,
we?
we didn't find a website, but we will. I mean, I will be presenting my screen, and we will write down the ranking. So it's a very low level presentation, but you will at least see what the ranking is in real time.
Okay, so that helps. So I think it's going to be another interesting game show. So let us begin.
Yeah, let
I,
me share my screen.
I think we can go with cricket first to start us off.
Yeah,
That is what we know best. So I can begin with my first list, which
sure.
is best IPL campaign
Oh,
of teams. So I've got five ready for Yash to rank without
okay.
knowing what comes next. So we can begin.
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's start.
So the first one is Sunrisers Hyderabad from 2018.
Oh, that's 2018 Sunrise Hyderabad. I think they made the final, but they didn't win it. So I'll put them at number four.
Okay. Uh, and not all of them are obviously winning campaigns.
Yeah.
So the second one is RCB 2025.
Oh,
This for sure is a winning one.
so I mean, there are obviously campaigns that have been more dominant, but RCB this year were truly special, as we covered in our podcast recently. I'll put that at number two.
Okay. So my third one is Gujarat Titans 2022, their debut year.
Oh, that was one dominant display from them. But now I can't take a risk where I don't want to put them at number one and then find out that it's MI that is left. So I'll go with number three, 2022.
Okay, so now you have left the best and the worst
Yeah.
open. So my next one is Delhi Capitals from 2021.
Oh yeah. Obviously they can go down here.
Okay, so I think you have played this pretty well because my last one was Mumbai Indians from 2017.
That was actually quite dominant.
So do you think it was more dominant than the second and third in your list?
Uh, I can explain my logic why I placed RCB in two because I think RCB historically have been one of the most unluckiest teams. So for them to win the title, it's a very big thing because it means that everything went their way. They've reached the final before, but they've always played really bad in the final. So it was a truly special campaign. And I placed GT in three instead of five because it was their first season and nobody expected them to do well because I remember at the start everybody was saying that GT has a very inexperienced and underrated team because all their players were pretty much kind of drops or leftovers from other teams. Players like Ridhuman Saha, David Miller, Rahul Tewatia, kind of maybe even Hardik because Mumbai Indians decided to leave him out. So they picked all these players. Even their coaching staff was actually rejects from RCB. So they brought all of them together and they won. So it was a very special season for them.
Yeah, so I think you might be pretty pleased with how this turned out.
Yeah, very happy. What do you think? Do you agree with my rankings?
Yeah, I think for a blind ranking, this is pretty good. I had expected you to have at least one of SRH or Delhi in the podium, but luckily you got them right.
Yeah. So I think the viewers also must have understood how this game is going to be. I think something we can improve on is you can explain your logic, why you're putting it in
Yeah,
that spot when you're putting it instead of doing it at the end. Anyway, so now let me, I'll open my my questions on a phone because my monitor is covered with this now. Okay, so I also have something related to IPL right now. So should I keep this or should I just
yeah, you can
overwrite?
keep.
Okay, so here we go. I'll copy this template.
Yeah, so I think it's been a great start, and now
Yeah.
it's time for my first ranking.
Okay, so my topic for you is IPL clutch performances.
Oh,
So these are performances when your team is almost on the cusp of losing, and then you do something special to make them win. So the first option for you is Rahul Tewatia versus Kings 11 Punjab in 2020 when he smashed those five sixes of Sheldon Cottrell.
Ah, that's a very hard one. And I think he himself played a part in getting the team to that situation first,
Yeah.
and then he had to bail them out. So just because of that, even though it was an unreal innings, I would put it at number three.
Number three. So Tewatia versus KXIP.
And just a hint, this is not the last time in this episode that this game is going to be referred to.
Oh, wow. Okay. The second option, or the second, yeah, second option for you is AB de Villiers versus Gujarat Lions in the 2016 qualifier one, when I think they were five down pretty quickly, and then him and Iqbal Abdullah they took RCB to the victory.
Yeah, I have memory of that game. I think that was a really special knock. Uh, in a knockout game when you're in real trouble. But I think just because it was a qualifier one, so even if they lost, they had another chance. I think just because of that, I would put it at number two and
Oh,
give chance to a better knock. But there are very few that can beat it.
that's interesting. Um, for me, basically my top three are left, and you have already put two in the top three, so
Ah,
now it's going to be fun. The next option for you is Manish Pandey versus Kings 11 Punjab in the 2014 final, where I think Punjab had scored 200 and KKR had lost early wickets, and Manish Pandey scored 80 or 90 runs.
I think yeah, that had a lot of importance because it was a final, so it can't get better than that. But I think yeah, clutch wise, it was really clutch, but uh, I would put it at. I don't think there were any other title winning knocks close to that, so I'll put it at number one.
Number one, oh my god.
Because I'm looking at just clutch in the sense they help your team win, and I don't think anything is more important than playing such a knock in a run chase in a final. So yeah,
I think you're going to regret it, because who said we were only talking about runs? It could be a bowling clutch performance as well, and that's exactly what it is. Next up, we have Lasith
uh,
Malinga, his final over versus CSK in the 2019 IPL final, where he defended, I think, 9 runs. And he
yeah.
had gone for 40 in his previous three. So after that, he defended just 9.
Okay, so I'll cut myself some slack because in a 150 game, if
Yeah,
you have gone for 40 in your first three, I think it's not that great. So if you're talking about the entire game, his numbers won't look good. Of course, he won them the final, but I think I'll put it at the entire spell at number five.
it's quite special. CSK 2019. For me, that spell stood out even more because he was initially smashed by Shane Watson, and at the end, he was bowling to him as well. If it was a different batter, then you could have kind of given Malinga some benefit of doubt, but it was against Watson, so that made it even more special. But anyways, you obviously put yourself in a tricky situation, and I'm sure you're going to regret even more because number five is Karen Pollard versus CSK in the 2013 IPL final, where he scored 60 out of 30 not out, and MI were struggling. That lost 3 or 4 wickets very early.
Yeah, so that goes at number four. I think I shouldn't have, in hindsight, shouldn't have put Tewatia that high. I still feel Pandey and AB deserve to be at least in the top three.
Yeah,
So it's not turned out that bad, but I think apart from Tewati, has all of them were in knockout games, which I didn't expect. So
yeah,
a bit off.
not bad. I think, as you mentioned, only Tewatia was the issue, and you actually said that he had put the team in that situation. So I thought after that you would put him at number 4 or 5. But anyways, let's move to the next one.
Yeah. So this one is a real treat for you because this is the best F1 races in the 2020s.
Okay.
So 2020 is the first time I really followed F1 season, and 2021 was the last time I did that. So I have very little context, but I took help from the internet for this. So my first one, so I think you will have to guide me and the audience with your logic even more in this
Yeah.
case. So my first one is Hungaroring 2021.
Oh, this race was very chaotic at the start because I think into turn one, uh, Valtteri Bottas, he basically couldn't brake and he went straight into Sergio Perez, and then Perez went straight into Max Verstappen. So that was one incident, and Lance Stroll we went and crashed into Leclerc. So there was a big mess at the start, and then the safety car was called. So Hamilton was in the lead, and Esteban Ocon found himself in P2 after all the mess. And then as the safety car came in, it was time for a standing start, and that's when everybody else spit except Lewis Hamilton. So he was the only driver on the grid. It's a very funny photo that's very famous on the internet. But I think that was pretty much it for the chaos because after that the race was boring because Esteban Ocon he won the race and Vettel was in P2 but he was chasing him pretty much for the entire race and Hamilton was clamping back up so it was okay. It was not very exciting after the first few laps. So I'll put it in number 4.
Okay, so the next one is Singapore 2023.
Hmm. This race, if I'm not wrong, Carlos Sainz won it, and Verstappen and Perez, both of them were starting in the lower places because Verstappen, I think, they both had a very bad qualifying session, and the end was very famous because we had Hamilton, Russell, Lando Norris, all three were chasing Sainz, and Sainz strategically gave DRS to Norris so that Russell wouldn't overtake Norris and then overtake Sainz. So he played that very smart. And then after the race, he said that it was his first smooth operation in Ferrari. So and that was the only race that Red Bull didn't win in 2023. So
Oh,
that was quite iconic. But I don't think the race itself was very exciting. It was a bit of a slow burner, and then at the end, we didn't really have a lot of overtakes, but these four cars were together. But apart from that, I don't think anything special happened. So number 5.
okay, so my next one would be Saudi 2021.
That was a very good race.
Hmm.
I think that's the race where Verstappen and Hamilton they were fighting each other for literally the entire race. And Verstappen he kept dive bombing into turn one and he went off the track a few times. And then at the end, finally, they made him give the place back to Hamilton, and he did it in a very weird way where he just braked suddenly, and then Hamilton didn't know that. He didn't know that Verstappen was giving the place back, so he crashed into him. and it was both the sides, both the garages were very angry and very fuming. So it was quite tense. I think I'll give it number two.
Mm. Yeah, after that description, I thought you would go for number one for this. So my next one is uh, Abu Dhabi 2021.
So yeah, everybody knows this race, but I'm actually going to be a bit controversial, but a bit more logical. I think I'm going to put it in number three because I feel 95% of the race was very boring, where Hamilton was clearly faster that day, and he had built up a 10-second lead. And even though Perez held him up after the first pit stop, he still came out ahead of Max and then again built up the lead. And then obviously what happened at the end happened, and Hamilton lost that championship and the race controversially. But apart from that, I don't think that race was any exciting. It was just the last two, three laps that were, and they were not even exciting, they were just controversial.
Yeah, I I think for anyone who isn't really into F1 or into the dynamics of F1, I think nothing can beat that excitement. But I
Yeah,
think if you have the knowledge of the game or the sport, I think then it makes sense.
yeah, in
It
that
doesn't.
race, at one point, I remember Christian Horner, he was being interviewed and he said that only God can help Max Verstappen now because there was no chance that they could win. And then suddenly the safety car came out and then the things happened.
Yeah, I remember watching that, and that was the peak of my F1 viewing experience. So the only one left is Monza 2020.
This was definitely an exciting race because Hamilton was supposed to dominate this race, but he entered the pit lane when it was supposedly closed and he wasn't allowed to enter, which is why they gave him a 10-second stop and go penalty, which meant he went to the back of the grid, and then it meant that Pierre Gasly and Carlos Sainz were leading the race, and they both were actually fighting pretty well. Sainz, I think, overtook Kimi Raikkonen first, and then he was very close to overtaking Gasly at the end. So in that sense, it was exciting, but I'm sure there was nothing at stake compared to the 2021 Abu Dhabi and Jeddah Grand Prix. So I think I messed up a bit, but Monza is definitely it was an exciting race.
Yeah, so that is your list. I honestly, uh, the kind of F1 fan I am, I would have placed Abu Dhabi 2021 at the top because
Yeah,
of the overall context and even the controversy played a part in it being one of the most iconic races.
yeah.
But other than that, I think even I can agree with the rest of the list. Just swapping
Yeah,
Monza for Abu Dhabi.
I kind of thought that you would have had maybe Silverstone 2021 or Brazil 2021, but you went with Monza. I didn't see that coming, but in the hindsight, I think I should have done what you said and placed Abu Dhabi at the top.
Yeah,
So yeah, good start. That was a nice list and something of an excitement for me. So now let's move to my second thing, and I can sense the pattern. Since you moved out of cricket, I'll do that as well. And these are the most exciting questions that I have. I'm really excited to present these to you. So my first one is your ready, favorite Punjabi artist. To the viewers,
yeah,
let me tell you, Ved is into Punjabi music. He listens to a lot of them, so I thought of creating a tier list for this.
yeah, that would really be interesting.
So your first option is Diljit Dosanjh.
Oh, okay, so it is a very personal preference. I think his music is very good. He makes mostly romantic Punjabi songs, I think, and a few kind of those beats and those kind of songs. So I like him. I listen to a lot of his music, but I think I'd put him at number three.
It's going safe.
Yes, I can see a lot of Punjabi fans abuse me in the comments, in the virtual comments.
Okay, the second pick for you is Karan Aujla.
Yeah, so his songs are really the way I like to listen Punjabi music. He's got a lot of hits and a lot of iconic songs as well. Uh, I'll go with number one
Oh, ho, ho.
because I don't see anyone who can top him right
Is
now, and even the catalog is what I'm looking at.
the spelling is correct, right?
Yes.
That shows how less of a Punjabi music listener I am. Anyways, let's go to the third pick for you, and it is Guru Randhawa.
Yeah, he's a iconic name in Punjabi music. I honestly am not a huge fan, but he's one of the, I think, OGs of the industry, but I'll put him at number four.
That's interesting. So now you have two left, and you have
I
number
think
two
I've
and number
messed.
five. So let's go with your fourth pick, and that is AP Dhillon.
Oh, okay, so he's also very popular, but I think he's infamous for making songs that sound the same.
Yeah.
So the kind of people who are into that kind of music will love him. Uh, I don't know who you will put as the last one. I think I'll put AP at five.
Oh, I think that's a masterstroke from you. But for the viewers, I actually love AP Dhillon songs. So out of these five, he's my favorite artist. And as you said, most of his songs sound the same. So that's why I've
Yeah.
started to enjoy that. And now your last pick, and I think you you just got lucky with this. It is Shubh.
Ah, yes. So I strategically put AP Dillon at five because I knew that the last one would be either Shubh or Sidhu Moosewala.
Yeah,
I'm not a huge fan of Sidhu Moosewala, but still he's iconic. So, but Shubh surely for me. Even his songs, I've been listening a lot of his songs recently.
yeah. I was looking at
Uh,
your playlist, and most of them were Shubh songs.
Supreme is one that I like a lot, and even I think Bandana. Him and Karan Aujla are my favorites, so I ended up having them as my top two. So it's a pretty successful list for me.
Yeah, you played it really well. I think this is also the order in which the frequency of songs is in your playlist. I think Shubh is the highest, but then there's Karan Aujla second, and then a lot of Diljit Dosanjh as well.
Yeah, and if you have been following our shorts, you might see that we use a lot of music from these artists, especially Karan and Shubh, in our shorts
Yeah,
because it just suits the mood of the short sometimes.
yeah. So good job with that.
Yeah, and on the subject, I would also just like to add a recommendation. I recently heard it. Uh, Ed Sheeran did a collaboration with Karan Aujla,
Oh,
and the song's name is Symmetry.
wow.
It's not a kind of song that Karan Aujla usually sing. It's not in that genre. He's tried something different, I think. But it's a catchy song. I won't add it immediately to my playlist, but you can listen to it. And of course, just one more song there would be Hukam by Karan Aujla. That is one of my current favorites. I've been playing it on loop over the last, I think, a day and a half at least.
Oh,
So those two songs
yeah, I'll
go with it.
definitely take a listen to it. Apart from this, is there any other artist that you like outside of these five?
Uh, I think Sidhu Moosewala is one for sure, and
Do you listen to Yo-Yo Honeysing by chance?
not really. He's a bit more mainstream for my liking, but he has got a couple of songs which I like. But I think Iki and I think one more name I'm forgetting, but his songs are also very good. I think his name is Sunny Dillon.
Okay.
Now I can't really wait. Uh, Varinder Brar is, I think we used to listen to one of his songs. Yeah, Sunny Malton.
Sunny Malton. Okay.
Yeah, but other than that, it's mostly AP Dillon and Shu.
Wow. So yeah, this can be called as a success. We
Yeah,
have finished four, and I
yeah,
think we have reached the halfway mark. So we can do four more, I think.
yeah. Okay, so now we can get back to cricket for a bit and get back to IPL in my case. So my next topic is the most iconic IPL games.
Oh,
I think this is going to be very hard because there are a lot of good ones
yeah.
here. So my first one straight up is MI versus RCB at Dubai 2020.
Oh, that was the match in which they played a super over.
Yeah.
Uh, that game was quite interesting. I
Yeah,
won't
for
say it
those who don't
was.
remember, I think
Yeah,
RCB were in a very strong position and MI needed 80 runs of the last 4 overs.
yeah.
And then they managed to stretch it down to the super over.
I think Ishan Kishan scored 99 or
Yeah,
100. I'm not sure. I don't think the game itself was very iconic because there wasn't a lot at stake because it was, I think, the third or the second game that both the teams played. So it was towards the start. So I think I'll place it at number four.
okay. I think that's a very safe option. So the next one is MI versus RR Wankhede 2014.
Oh, that was an epic
Yeah,
game.
the Tare game.
Yeah. I think they needed 190 odd runs in about 14 and a half overs. And they exactly got to the score that RR had made. So they were short by 1 run. And then the RR players started celebrating until the umpires they announced that if MI scored a boundary of the next ball, they would qualify based on the net run rate. And Aditya Tare hit that iconic six. So this was a very iconic game, and I don't think such games will happen again. So I'll place it at number two.
Oh. I think and generally older games are automatically more iconic because of the memories that we have.
Yeah.
Uh, so the next one is the hint that I had given you before. Rajasthan Royals versus Kings 11 Punjab, Sharjah 2020.
This is an easy one. I'm unfortunately going for P5 because this game again was between two teams that were pretty much struggling in the season. And again, there wasn't a lot at stake. And as you mentioned earlier, RR were in that position because of Tewatia. So in some way, he saved his own reputation by smashing Cottrell, but it ended his career. Cottrell, I don't think he played mainstream cricket after that. And I saw him playing Legends League cricket last year, so he's left the sport entirely. But yeah, P5.
Okay, so you've got two left, and my next one is CSK versus RCB in Bangalore 2025.
Oh, this year. This was quite an exciting game because such situations have happened in the past, but CSK came out on top in those games, or it went down to the wire, like in 2019. But this time, RCB, they were clinical and they dismissed MS Dhoni quite easily, and then they won back quite a few runs, I think. So it was iconic in the sense that RCB defeated CSK in a crunch match. So number three for this.
I think for me it was more iconic in a way because it's the second time in a row that Yash Dayal got the better of MS Dhoni and
Yeah.
Jadeja. And in a way, it was kind of a repeat of the last year. And it was a high scoring game. It had everything. Uh, but yeah,
The only thing less iconic that made it less iconic is that CSK was struggling. If CSK were at their peak and
yeah.
RCB had done this, it would have been really iconic.
So I think you messed this up a bit
Oh,
because the last one is RCB versus MI in Chennai 2021,
oh
the
no.
opening game.
That game, I don't think it was iconic, but RCB did make a comeback because at the start, I think Rohit and Chris Lynn got to a good start, and then I think Harshal Patel, that was the start of his rise in IPL.
He got a 5 I think.
And I think in the second innings as well, MI actually had they at one stage they were in a winning position until AB de
Yeah,
Villiers did AB de Villiers things and took
I
the
think
game
they
away.
had pulled it back in typical MI fashion,
Yeah.
like them of the old. But the first game curse came and struck them.
I think they won two more games, I think against KKR and SRH on the same ground
Yeah,
in a similar situation, but first game curse and AB de Villiers stood in the way.
I think that season and that leg in Chennai was kind of infamous for those last minute collapses by Jason. I
Yeah,
remember RCB pulled one off against SRH as well, Shahbaz Ahmed.
yeah, correct.
And on the other hand, your games in Wankhede at the same time, which were all high scoring. So it was a very interesting mix of games.
Yeah, and it was unfair because teams like MI and RCB they made their teams for batting tracks and they were stuck in Chennai, so it was a bit unfair. But anyways,
Yeah,
this list is absolutely messed up. I think looking back, I think the 2020 MI-RCB game was more iconic than the 2021. So I would have swapped that, and I think MIRR was the most iconic game out of these five.
yeah. I think I would have had MIRR at 1 and RCB CSK at 2
Yeah.
before considering the others.
All right, let's move to the third blind ranking from my side. Do you want it to be related to cricket or something else?
Yeah, I think we can go with the pattern.
Okay.
Make this one the cricket one.
Okay, so this one is again quite interesting. I have, and I think you will enjoy this. So it's the best cricket commentators.
Oh, this
and
is
you,
interesting.
and we don't have the regular ones. So these are, I mean, these are also pretty famous, but you don't have your Bhogles or your mainstream commentators, Akash Chopra. So let's go with the first one. I kind of lied because this guy is the most mainstream commentator ever. It is Ravi Shastri.
Ah, I think he is decent in terms of creating hype,
Yeah,
and in the last couple of years, he's been overdosed upon us. I think every single toss that I've seen only him, be it in India, be it in England, Australia, wherever. So I won't be surprised if he's there doing tosses in the Ashes as well. So I think commentary skills wise, I would put him at five to be
oh,
honest,
ho, ho.
because he doesn't really add much value with his insights.
That's
And
very controversial because I really enjoy the way he talks and those iconic moments like the 2011 World Cup win, the 2023 World Cup win as well. He called those, so those those lines are forever etched in our memories.
yeah, I think it's high time we get some break from him. I really
Yeah,
missed him when he was the coach of India, but I think it's been a bit too much.
yeah,
Uh, Someone like a Bishop or Ian Smith deserves to call the big moments in the next few years.
yeah. I agree. Let's go with the second option for you, and it's obviously the great Ian Bishop from West Indies.
Ah, I don't think I've heard a better commentator than him, both in terms of the knowledge that he has, the research he does, and even the way he talks. He has the ability that Ravi Shastri has, which is creating hype and making things look larger than life. But he also adds a lot of insight.
Yeah,
And as a cricket fan, as a fan of the sport and not just moments, I think I enjoy that more. So I'll put him at number one.
oh, ho, ho. So 1 and 5 locked in already. You might regret this because there are a few good names in this list.
Mm.
But I agree with Bishop, Ian Bishop, because I think once in IPL, I remember he was speaking about an Indian domestic player and he was giving a few stats that a few Indian commentators didn't know. So
Yeah,
it was
I think
quite
that was
embarrassing.
about Ashwani Kumar
I think so.
this year.
So yeah, now let's move to the middle three. And the next one that I have for you is the voice of T20 cricket, Danny Morrison.
Oh, okay. So now that I've determined kind of the extremes, Danny Morrison goes more towards Ravi Shastri, but I think he surely has a lot more uh, knowledge of what he's talking about. Not to say Ravi Shastri doesn't, but Danny Morrison adds a bit more. And his kind of tone is suited towards T20 cricket a lot. The way he just speaks about literally anything in a fun tone.
Yeah,
But me being more of a purist,
old school.
I would I would put him at number four.
Oh, I can see where you're coming from. Danny Morrison for me is one of those commentators who I'll never forget because there was a golden era of the IPL, and Danny Morrison was a big reason for why it was so. The way he commentated on all those sixes and fours, it made it even more exciting. So the
Yeah,
Sony era of IPL, that's when he was at his best, I think.
I think over the years he has. his presence has reduced in IPL.
Yeah.
Before, I remember whenever you turn on the TV, he would be commentating. But over the years, he's been replaced by Murli Karthik and Deepdas Gupta.
Yeah, but I think we are set up really well because this is what I envisaged with the picks that I have. Now it's going to be quite tricky, and I'm going to go with a commentator that you're a big fan of. It's the voice of Cricket 007, if you remember. Cricket 2007. This is Mark Nicholas.
Oh,
He's my one of my favorite commentators, for record.
yeah, I think he is really good, and he also doesn't run behind money because he's seen in very select events, and he maintains the quality. I think nowadays he's the head at MCC, Marylebone Cricket Club. So that's why he's absent from the commentary box. I really enjoy his commentary in those golden days from Channel 7, I think. I would go with,
Be careful because you never know what's coming up next.
I'll put him at number 3.
Oh, I think you might have messed that up a bit. Although I'm not sure what you think of the next guy. But Mark Nicholas, I think matches in Australia is where you hear him the most. And there was an era again. I think the Ashes in 2014 to 18, that's when he was at his peak. And I remember listening to him quite a lot. I'm still confused whether he is from Australia or South Africa or England because he's present in all three of these countries.
Yeah, I think he is from South Africa, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. Okay, so now you might have messed this up, but let's see. Your last option is Nasir Hussain.
Oh, I think I don't agree with a lot of his opinion, but it's tough to argue against his commentating skills. I really like the way he talks,
Yeah.
and not necessarily what he talks, but uh, yeah, I think I used the same criteria to put Ravi Shastri at the bottom, but now I have to put Nasir Hussain at number 2. I think he has a lot of knowledge, but he decides to uh, speak in a certain way. So that's the difference between him and Ravi Shastri. Ravi Shastri, I don't believe he even likes to add any value other than the hype part. But Nasir Hussain, he does have knowledge and he kind of uh, doesn't let all of it through. So yeah, number 2 for
I
me.
I usually find him a bit biased towards England, and that's
Yeah,
obvious. Every commentator is going to be biased towards their country. But Nasser Hussain is a bit more, I feel. Uh, but
that
yeah,
was the exact line I was trying to avoid saying.
but yeah, I have a question for you now. Most of these commentators are quite old school and they've been around for a lot of time, a lot of years. But who is one commentator from the newer generation? Someone like a Dinesh Karthik or Varun Aaron who have started in the last 2 or 3 years that you think will become a legendary commentator in the next 10 or 15 years?
Uh, I
Or
think,
maybe a player who's going to retire soon, who you think might be a good commentator.
yeah, I think one underrated commentator that I heard last year was actually Tamim Iqbal. Uh,
Okay.
when Bangladesh toured India, he was very good and very astute. I think Dinesh Karthik is a bit overhyped. He doesn't, uh, he isn't really the best. But one name I would like to see a lot more in mainstream commentary is Ronak Kapoor.
Yeah,
I really enjoy the way he talks, and he's got a good camaraderie with a lot of the uh, commentators as well, which really lifts the entire environment when he's commentating, and he does his research as well. And
yeah,
another one who has the potential to go mainstream and is loved a lot, especially by Indians, is Mark Howard. He does not take up a lot of duties apart from Cricket Australia ones because apparently he likes to stay at home with his family, and he also has his own podcast and other things that he does in the off season. So he doesn't really travel much around the world, but I think he really should. He did come to the IPL, I think
yeah,
in 2023,
yeah.
and the fans really had a great time.
Yeah, that's one commentator who I really enjoy. I've only heard him in the highlights that Cricket Australia released, so I never knew his name for a very long time, but I knew that voice. So yeah, are you happy with this list, or do you think? I'm sure you wouldn't put Nasser Hussain at two, but who would you replace him with? And where would you
Yeah,
place Nasser Hussain?
I think I would just swap Mark Nicholas and Nasser Hussain because I still feel Nasser Hussain does a better job than Danny and Ravi.
That's great. Uh, we've finished three each, so let's move on to the last one now.
And we are 52 minutes into the podcast. So our last one, mine is a non-cricket one, and I think this is something that you will find very difficult
Oh, oh,
and you'll enjoy. It is the best TMKOC arcs.
oh, 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 oh.
So for those who don't know, TMKOC refers to Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma,
Yeah.
and we have been watching it for a very, very long time. And there are a lot of funny episodes and arcs, but I've got five for you.
Oh, this is going to be extremely difficult. And it's quite unique, so I'm liking this already.
Yeah. So the first one is Babita Ji Miss Call. So this is the one where Popatlal keeps miscalling Babita Ji, thinking it's some other girl, and then there's a lot of chaos.
Um, so we are talking only about that particular arc, right? Not the one after it where they do the Mahashivratri puja and all that.
No, just the
Okay.
where it ends in the restaurant.
I think this is one of my most favorite arcs because I've watched it so many times. Uh, and it's quite entertaining. So I'll put it at number two.
Oh, so an early podium. Yeah, I think I agree with that. Uh, the next one is a water shortage in Gokuldam, where they resort to getting the tanker in.
Yeah, that's also one of the most funniest episode within that arc where I think they open the tap and the water it basically falls on Bapuji and then he's against the door.
Bankar.
But I think that episode is very funny, but the arc in general is it's okay. I mean, it's very relatable, I'm sure, because in India, water supply is still a very big problem. So I'm sure a lot of people can relate to it. But it's not overly funny. So I'll put it at number four.
I think it's one of our favorites, that specific episode, but
Yeah.
as an arc, maybe, yeah. So the next one is सारे के सारे आम सड़े हुए निकले. That entire arc, which starts with Bhide buying a duplicate phone from
Yeah.
Jethalal,
Yeah, that's one of the most epic arcs because, as you said, it's a two-part thing. So first, Bhide gets to insult Jethalal, and then Jethalal takes the revenge. But I think it ends on a very on a very abrupt note because his uncle comes and it's straight away, they become they're all okay with everything and they start talking to each other and all that. I expected Jethalal to go against the uncle and a bit more drama. So just because of that, it's at number three. But the build up and the majority of it is really entertaining.
I think you have set this up really well. So you've got two left, the first and the last left, and my next one is Bapuji Hichki.
Hmm. This is an entertaining arc. I haven't really watched much of it. I only remember that one episode where I think Mehta and Anjali are in the house and they are trying a few remedies, but I'm not sure what happens before and after. So that kind of indicates how much I've watched it. So unfortunately, that's my number five.
Oh, I think for you, I should say fortunately, because the last one is a totally epic one, which is Bagha entry arc.
Oh, so that starts from the
From when
um,
Nattu Kaka leaves
he leaves and it
for
ends
some
with
time.
the paint thing, right? So I think they were painting Gokul and that's when Bagha he arrived.
I think it ends with it kind of when he appoints him as a full-time in his shop, and then it just transitions into
Yeah,
the next one.
that's a very long arc because a lot of things happen on the side as well. So that makes it even more exciting. And I'm sure the part where he starts his own onion business is in the same arc.
Ek nag.
Yeah, so I'm very happy that I reserved number one for it, and this definitely deserves it. So I think I'm happy with all of them. This is the perfect rank, I think so.
Yeah, that I think that would be my order as well, more or less. It's really difficult because I think the top three, all of them are my favorites.
Yeah,
But if I had to, I think this would really be the order.
and if you look at it, the top three are quite close to each other. All of them happen between 500 and 600. So for viewers, if you're looking for the best Tarak Mehta episodes, start from 500 and go until about 900, and you will have the best arcs in that range.
Yeah, I think every single story there has is iconic.
Yeah.
Uh, that was really the peak of TMQs.
Yeah, and the fact that they nowadays they make it so slow. So even a simple Diwali or Ganesh Chaturthi arc, they stretch it for 10, 11, 12 days. So it gets quite boring. But with this, in this range, they used to speed up the episodes really,
Yeah.
really quickly. So they didn't waste time. So every episode had a lot of drama and fun. So let's move to the last blind rank
Oh,
for the day. And this is again not related to cricket. And this is, I think, it won't be very difficult, but I think you will love this. So let me just write it down.
oh. Ah. So what is written down for our audio listeners is the best Chobani flavors. So for those who don't know, Chobani is a yogurt brand which is I think it only sells in America, and I got my hands on it when I arrived here. And since then, I think every night I've been having one pack.
And it's been a staple. And he and Wade often tells me the different flavors that he's having. So I was quite jealous, so I thought of putting him under the radar for this. So now let's go with the first one. This should be quite simple because this is personally my favorite flavor. We start off with cookies and cream.
Okay, so this might sound a bit controversial because having a 60 calorie pack of cookies and cream flavor sounds very, very uh, tempting. But honestly, most of the times I prefer to have the fruit flavors more than that because I don't know why it just feels like cookies and cream is one of the most artificial tasting flavors. So
You never know
I'll put
which
it at,
ones are coming up next.
yeah. So just because that I'll put it at number four.
That's a smart call. All right, uh, let's go with the second one. And this is again one of the most famous flavors in the world. It's classic vanilla.
Vanilla, I love it a lot. Uh, I think it's also one of the easier ones to make for them. Just add vanilla flavored protein powder. Uh, it tastes really good. Ah, very difficult. I think unless you put the plain one as well in this, there are the other three would definitely be more complex flavors. I'll have it at number three.
Oh, I'm actually surprised. I thought you would put this in the top two. But I think you've played well because the next three, as you said, are quite complicated flavors. So let's go with the next one. We have black cherry.
Mm. So I've had it just a couple of times. I like the taste, but definitely not top two level. So I'll put it at number five. It is a very interesting taste profile. Yeah. You
Is
have to
it
try.
is it better than cookies and cream or vanilla?
Uh, I think it is better than cookies and cream a little, but it just depends on if you like cookies and cream or not.
Okay, so now let's go with the fourth pick. And I think you've played this very well. The fourth one is key lime pie.
Ah. This is one of my favorites. Uh, though it is also a little artificial tasting, but definitely not as much as the cookies and cream. So I'm not sure what you've chosen for number one. I mean the last one. Uh, I think I'll go a little more safe and
Oh,
place it at number two.
he might regret this or he might not. You will not because the last option is toasted coconut vanilla.
Yeah, that is definitely the best one. I think anyone who has never had the opportunity should really somehow get their hands on toasted coconut vanilla
Yeah,
flavored.
it's my favorite as well, even though I love cookies and cream. But this is something different.
It is incredible, and I think I will really agree with this list. Even if I had it without the blindfold, I would have chosen it in this very order.
Yeah, out of these five, I don't think I've had black cherry or key lime pie. I've obviously had different flavors that are not in this five, but I would love to try key lime pie because if you're saying it's your one of your most favorites, I think I should give it a try.
Yeah, and when I will. eventually head back to my home. I'm trying to figure out a way to get a few of these back home. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments. It would genuinely be helpful.
Yeah, and we'll also obviously share a link to Chobani. If it's available elsewhere, I think you should give it a try. The biggest thing that they offer is tasty yogurts without a lot of calories and a lot of sugar. So it's like a dream combination for someone who's trying to follow a healthy diet without compromising much on the taste.
Yeah, and at the same time, it is also a protein source. In
Yeah,
one small pack, you get 60 calories and 12 grams of protein, which is a really super deal if you are into it.
yeah,
And if you aren't really a fan of artificial sweeteners, though they are still natural, like stevia, but if you aren't, they also have the regular cane sugar version, which will have added sugar, but at least if you can afford to have it in your diet, I think you can still try, not shy away from it just because they add.
perfect. So we've done 8 blind rankings. Which one was your most favorite out of the 4 that I gave you?
I think the Punjabi singers was really caught me off guard. I didn't expect that, and I think that was really good.
Yeah, and the the idea behind it was that I was actually clueless with how to or with what questions to come up with because most of them were cricket, and you had mentioned that you were going for a few questions that were not
Mm.
related to cricket, and that's when I was listening to your playlist. So
Oh,
I was trying to choose a song, and that's when I saw these artists, and I remembered that you are a big fan of all these artists, so might as well go with it.
yeah, and now your turn.
I really enjoyed the Tarak Mehta arcs because this was something that I didn't expect and quite entertaining as well. And luckily, I got all of them right, so I can be
Yeah,
very happy about this.
yeah. So I think this was another entertaining game. So our track record of game shows continues to live on. So we'll be back now at least 3 weeks of gap because November has just begun. So hopefully this will last for that time and only grow in popularity.
Yeah, and for the viewers, you guys should also play along. Create your own rankings and share it with us in the comments. And let us know if you agree with our rankings because I'm sure, especially for the Punjabi songs or even the Tarak Mehta arcs, I'm sure you guys must have your own opinions. So please share it with us and tell us how you liked this game show.
Yeah, and I can already imagine myself milking all sorts of content from this episode into shorts and snippets. So it's going to be a fun time for people who aren't into long form content, but they'll still get to understand how we operate in the game show.
Yeah.
So I think we've got one more IPL preview left and a week in our hand. So that episode will come out before the retentions are announced. So till then, it's time to say goodbye. This is Ved signing off.
Bye.